Yo, what's up guys? Zvle here, and I hope you guys had a really good 2020. Obviously it was a really up and down year. I'm hoping 2021 will be better. I mean, I'm a producer, so like, I'm inside all the time anyways. It doesn't really matter to me. Anyways, yeah, so today I'm gonna be working on some melodic dubstep. Trying to do it in the style of like Seven Lions, A5, and Crystal Skies. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm excited. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright guys, here we are. And I'm gonna set my project to 150 BPM. Most melodic dubstep is anywhere from around 140 to 165 BPM. Don't quote me on that, but we're gonna go with 150 to be safe. So let's start off with some epic pad sounding stuff. So what I'm gonna do is kind of use that as a background noise. So let's take out a flex first. And let's put it on some strings and put on some slow strings for 40 bars for now. And what I want to do here is let's open up the effect chain. I'm going to press F9 and go to mix rack 1 or channel 1 and put a fruity filter. Turn the high pass off and just cut off a lot. Okay guys, I created sort of like a counter melody. Sounds like this. Okay, now what I'm actually gonna do is I'm going to take this guy, and what I'm gonna do with this melody is actually take each bit and put them to half a bar, and then hold shift, and then skip 8th bars. I'm gonna do a copy right now, so hold shift, and I'm just gonna do the same thing. And I'm gonna do the same thing by controlling all of it and then shifting again. I'm gonna copy it for the next 4, move the cutoff a little bit, and now we can actually change the automation. Now what I'm gonna do is I can create a counter melody with this Pluck. Cool. And just change the cutoff a little. I'm also going to add some reverb for this guy. So I'm going to open up with Valhalla Vintage, move the reverb a little bit, highlight all of this, and create a new automation. I'm thinking now we're going to want some bass coming in. Okay, so I've used this preset future bass low end, and let's see how it sounds. Oh.
5 minutes later.
Alright guys, here's what I got. So essentially it's just a counter melody to the whole thing. I'm gonna highlight all this, move the cutoff a little bit, except on this one, because it's lower, we're actually gonna open up the high side. So we're gonna move the filter up. The next thing we're gonna be adding is the sub. I'm gonna have one sub that doesn't move. And what I mean by that, the filter doesn't move, but on the next sub, I'm going to have the cutoff move. Okay, and I'm thinking now we can add, would it be weird to add a piano for that? Let's go to Nexus for that. All right, now that we have all the instruments done, or that I can think of, let's start adding some atmosphere. Now I'm thinking here we can start adding some snares. So the first thing I'm going to add is pitch. So I'm going to go ahead and click this guy, move this one around, move this to stretch, so that actually moves along with the pitch. Move all these the same. You can do that by going to link to controller and finding the appropriate pitch that we changed. Now I'm actually going to want to open up a Fruity Pro Q, but you can use any EQ. And we're going to want to create a riser with this guy. Okay, this is the part that everyone's been waiting for, I imagine, the drop. Now, it doesn't sound great now, but just wait till we throw that into Serum form. Okay guys, the first two layers of this ended up being just the same supersaw. And the third one is this thing that I created called Basic Supersaw. Together they sound like this. And let's start adding some bass to this as well. Alright guys, so I put the bass on rack 11. They all are almost exactly the same. A2, D, C, and then D3, and here's how they sound. Now we're going to have to add the next part of the drop, which is the top layer. And I can create a basic arp like this using the same preset that we used in the intro. Now I'm going to go ahead and add a kickstart to this whole thing. Sounds a little aggressive right now, but let's add some drums. Bass. Okay, now one thing I want to focus on is back to the drop and the drop arp. I'm actually going to have the drop hit on halfway through just to vary it a little bit. And then what we can do here with the arp is to create a little filter. So now in the middle of the drop, we have some extra space. And I created this. You want to do the same thing with the volume here on the drop. Okay, and I think we're about done. Let's take a listen to the whole thing and see how it turned out. Oh man, that one was actually like really tough. I didn't doesn't seem like it, but I spent a lot of time on this one. So man, I really hope you guys liked that one, and you know, if you liked it, leave a comment, tell me what you want to see next, and